What's up, Packer fans? I'm Nariah Chapek, and we just came off of a thrilling 38-24 victory over the Detroit Lions. I'm shooting my shot, or at least shooting my shot. Let's pour another Packers overtime podcast finger point. What is that? Did you get that from the Thanksgiving elf that came to your house?
No, I've had this for a while. Forgot I had it. Found it in the cupboard. It's a coosball.
Foosball. Bobby, you're not still playing that coosball, are you?
Coosball is the devil.
So I decided to shoot my shot with that intro. I'm doubling down, and we'll see how that goes. Feeling very confident.
Confidence is key.
Like right now, we're recording this on Tuesday night, but right now I'm probably just feeling really good. Got my Packer socks on, and we're 10-2, 10-3, 10-3.
We got rid of a loss? Wow.
We played so well, they took away one of the losses. Absolutely phenomenal.
They should do that. They should make that a thing. If you beat a team by more than 30 points, they take away a loss.
Yep. Your lowest loss.
Legit.
Lowest seed loss. Yep. That'd be great. Which in this case, it would just be the Minnesota Vikings because they are the lowest seed that we've lost to at 10-2.
Yeah. That's crazy to think. Packers only got 3 losses. It just feels like more, right?
Does it just feel like more?
Well, week in and week until these last couple of weeks, each week we were like, oh man, Packers didn't play well. Oh, Packers got to fix this. They got to fix that. It just feels like they would have had more losses in there, but they haven't. Like I said in the main episode, it's thankfully still turned into mostly wins.
We can go around the league. I'm kind of just going to go there because you got me thinking. I always compare the Packers to the Ravens on the AFC. I think that's kind of my mirror image team on the AFC conferences. Those two, right? And what is going on with Tucker at kicker, right? Like he's completely falling apart. And this is why I think they're 8-5. This is why their season has not really shaped out or turned out to be the way it is. That I don't know what's going. Probably the best kicker in NFL history has not played good all year. And now here's the Ravens, 8-5. They probably to an extent could have cost them. You could blame them for last week's loss. The 2 missed field goals and an extra point. That's 7 points off the board. But now you're 5 weeks from the playoffs. What do? I mean, you ride it out, right? But
they're not going to bench him.
They're not going to do anything. The season's over if you don't have a kicker. We learned that very early on. Great thing we got McManus. Huh?
Yeah.
What a saving grace.
You better knock on wood right now.
Right now. If anything, I'm going to change the score prediction to 41-24 by the end of this episode.
An extra field goal?
Yep.
Just a cherry on top for McManus at the end.
McManus cherry on top. What kind of tidbits you got for us? 2 weeks of tidbits. We haven't had an overtime episode. We can go all through the league if you want to.
I didn't really write down any tidbits, but let's take a look at all I got to do is look at the schedule from the previous 2 weeks, look at the matchups, and I probably can come up with something.
You could do that.
We could.
Want to talk about the Bears? Eberflus? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the shit show. My God. It was insane. So I actually didn't watch the end of that game. I didn't catch the very end there, but I knew the Bears were making a comeback. And then I saw the replay of what happened at the end, it was pure stupidity. Pure stupidity. It was stupidity on Caleb Williams' part. I don't know if he wasn't aware of where the clock was at or what was going on. And then Eberflus, obviously he's the main culprit. Just the stupidity of it, and then afterwards to say, "Oh, I think we handled that the right way." What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You
it's
are
bad.
an idiot. You're oblivious. Have you ever watched a game of football in your entire life? Like, it just didn't make any sense. I was at my in-laws that day, and as soon as I saw the news come out that in his post-game interview, he said that he thought they handled it the right way, I told my father-in-law, I said, he's getting fired. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Guarantee he's getting fired.
I didn't even need to see the interview. As soon as because I did not watch, I'm a little bit of the opposite. I didn't watch like any of the game. And then I saw that Chicago had the ball with like 2 minutes left, and I turned it on. We were at Thanksgiving. Everybody was sitting down to eat, and I'm off in the other room with a couple other people watching this all happen. And they were marching down the field with the intention of obviously scoring a touchdown. Let's not go into overtime. Let's score a touchdown. Let's get out of here with a victory. Well, he gets sacked there on second down with 33 seconds left in the clock. And yeah, it's just, I don't necessarily put as much blame on Caleb Williams as I do Eberflus, but he's a rookie quarterback. You're not in these situations very often. The head coach has to take the charge right there and be like, okay, we got to gather.
Disagree.
You think that a rookie quarterback burns their last time out on third down with 30 seconds left and he doesn't, now they're pointing the finger at him?
When the clock's ticking down from 33 seconds down to 5 seconds, absolutely I point the finger at him. He easily could have said, I mean, he's been playing for how many years? It doesn't matter that he's a rookie. He's been playing football for decades.
Hold on. If it's Malik Willis, very exact same situation, gets sacked on second down, and he's in there.
Yeah.
And Malik Willis gets up and calls a timeout with 30 seconds. You think Matt LaFleur is going, what the fuck? I'm the head coach. I make the calls. You're the backup quarterback. Sit your ass back down. It's the head coach's fault. It's not the quarterback's fault.
Yes, I agree. It's the head coach's fault. But Caleb Williams, at some point, he's just standing there. I mean, he's standing there like adjusting protection and reading the defense, and the clock's just ticking.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at some point, you got to be like, oh shit, we're going to run out of time here. Either get the ball snapped or call a timeout. Like, that, not getting the ball snapped earlier, that's on Caleb Williams. Like, Eberflus obviously wanted them to run a play. And so the fact that Caleb Williams waited until there's 5 seconds left to get the ball snapped, that's on Williams. Unless he was told to wait. Like,
I don't know. I think 15 seconds is probably that time where I'm the coach.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we just burned 17 seconds with you diddly-daddling in the backfield.
Yep.
I'm called timeout, right? So, I don't know. Yeah, watching it live, you just saw the highlight. I know all the other Bears fans watching that game. Man, it was just like, okay, snap it. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And then like 6 seconds left, they finally snap it. He drops back and throws a bomb, not even in the end zone, like a 10-yard line. Like, what is going? It was crazy.
Crazy. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable that it ended that way. Yeah. And honestly, I was rooting for the Bears. I was like, hey,
I think it'll work.
The Lions could use another loss. This is going to help it's not going to help the Bears season. It'll help the Packers season though. Like, yeah, let's get this thing to at least overtime, give the Bears a chance they've got all the momentum right now. But then it just crashed and burned.
You think?
Horribly.
Yeah. So now they're without, they have a new offensive coordinator. They're going to have an interim head coach.
Did they announce who that is? I haven't seen.
I haven't seen either.
So maybe they don't even know yet.
Well, and then so Eberflus has his press conference Friday, says, I wouldn't have done anything different. They asked him though that might have been after the game that he said that. They asked him on Friday, any concerns, with your future or conversations. He was like, no, I'm preparing for San Francisco. I'm sure, these conversations will happen in the future, depending on our performance, yada, yada. So he has that press conference and then he gets fired like 2 hours after. And the GM actually had to apologize and the owner apologized. They're like, yeah, when he had his press conference, we hadn't made our decision yet. And it was only shortly after we decided to call him into the office and let him go. The Bears are going to bear.
Are you sure? Are you sure you hadn't made your decision yet? Because you and I both said he's getting fired after he made those comments right after the game. Like, come on.
And that's how they started. I didn't, there were no comments made. 0 comments. They lost that game and the clock hit 0 and I'm walking back into my Thanksgiving dinner going, Bears are firing their coach. That was the worst ending of a football game I've ever seen. I didn't need a press conference or comments. That was, they've managed to find ways to lose in every possible fashion this season. Hail Mary loss, a blocked field goal loss.
Yeah.
And then whatever the hell that was Thursday against the Lions. Absolute nuts.
Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. Very, very bad. I feel bad. I have a brother-in-law that's a Bears fan. I mean, he's not a avid football fan, so I'm sure he doesn't care that much, but still, anybody that supports that team.
Is there such a thing as an avid Bears fan really anymore?
Well, I've seen him on the internet after their loss to the Packers, and then this loss last week, the dumpster fire play. There's all these reaction videos. It's Bears fans filming themselves while they watch the game, and then their reaction to what happens.
They're great, and I love those.
They're so fun to watch.
But they were 4-2, and now they are 4-8. Right, that was their 6th straight loss.
Yeah.
Bad. Poor things.
Should we move on to the Vikings?
Sure, why not? Around the NFC North. I did not watch that game.
I didn't watch a ton of it. I think I watched more of the first half. I feel like the last play that I watched of that game was the first touchdown Minnesota scored. So they were down, I think it was 19-6 at the time.
I'm going to look it up. Because I was thinking it was 17-3. Maybe I was off.
Something like that. Something around there.
19-6 is what it was.
Finger point.
So
that was the very last play that I watched, was the Vikings scoring their first touchdown. And do you know what quarter that was in? Was that late in the third?
Yeah, they scored with 1:17 left in the third, their first touchdown.
Yeah.
It was 19-13.
After I watched that play, I was like, oh, okay, they scored a touchdown, but it was the Cardinals, right? They played the Cardinals?
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, the Cardinals offense has been playing well. Like, they're going to go down and probably at least put up another field goal. Like, it's too little too late for the Vikings. And then I went on about doing whatever else I was doing that day. And then all of a sudden I get the update on my phone. Minnesota Vikings are 10-2. I was like, are you kidding me? They came back and won that game. Like, they did not deserve to win that. Like, they played terribly. So
I went and got a Christmas tree and I checked my phone when I got out of the parking lot and I'm like 23-22. I was so angry.
Yeah.
I'm looking on ESPN. They have their little graph of percentage of winning the game. With 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Arizona was up 19-16. They had the ball and they were about to kick a field goal. They had a 90.3% chance of winning the game with 5 minutes to go in the game. And then that obviously all dissipated 3 minutes later.
Yeah. So they kicked so it was 19. They kicked a field goal. That got them to 22. And Vikings must have just drove down the field quickly and scored a touchdown, right?
Yep. They kicked the field goal 3 minutes. Arizona did, and then Vikings
Mhm.
scored a touchdown in 2 minutes. 8 plays, 70 yards, 2-minute and 7-second drive. Capped off with an Aaron
Yeah.
Jones 5-yard touchdown reception.
Yeah, I don't know. The Vikings are similar to the Chiefs in my mind, where they're squeaking
Wow.
out wins week in and week out. I mean, we can caveat this into the Kansas City Chiefs tidbit. Each week, it seems like the Chiefs, some crazy thing happens and they end up winning the game. Like against the
Vegas
Raiders last week,
Yeah.
they were going to lose to the Raiders, and then it wasn't like a fumbled snap or something like that.
Oh, yeah, it was not only it was a fumbled snap. Like, they had a legal motion. The center snaps the ball. The quarterback's not even ready for it. Illegal motion, flag gets thrown. I'm gonna assume the NFL got it right. I did not spend any time diving into whether a legal motion automatically like results in a null and dead play or if the play continues. I guess my understanding was that the play is called dead when it's an illegal motion, and then you either redo the play with a 5-yard penalty, 10-yard penalty. But no, that wasn't the case. They allowed the Chiefs to recover the football. Game over. That was the Chiefs are finding ways to win, and you dropped them. We'll get to power rankings. You dropped them quite a bit. I dropped them as well. They're not as good as what we thought they were. I mean, maybe they're as good as what we thought they were. They were just finding ways to win early on in the season. But yeah, I don't know if I'd compare them to the Vikings. So
Well, I just feel like the Vikings are winning in similar ways in similarly close games against, really, it doesn't matter who they play. The Vikings are still just barely squeaking wins out. That's why I compare the two, and it can take a turn at any time. Like the Chiefs and the Vikings, they could have a week where things don't bounce their way and they start a downhill slide and start racking up losses. Like I feel like that could happen for either of those teams.
yeah, I don't really yeah. What I want to say is I don't care about the Vikings. Like they're a one and done playoff game, right? They have to.
Yeah.
They have to be. Well, maybe not. And that's we'll get into those discussions as we get to later on in the season. But I mean, if the playoffs were to start today, they would have to face off against the Falcons. Here, let me just pull it up.
Yeah, I don't even know. The seeding is goofy because the NFC North has so many good teams, but the Lions being at the top, that puts the Vikings and Packers in a wild card spot at a lower seed. So you got
so if the playoffs started today, ironically, the Minnesota Vikings would travel to Atlanta. They play the Falcons this Sunday. Green Bay would have to travel to Seattle, 7-5 Seattle. And then Washington would have to, that'd be a really good game, Washington at Philadelphia. But this is kind of what's interesting about this. Okay, it'd be a somewhat good game. Eagles win, but it'd be a good game. Okay, all right. This is what's interesting about these playoffs. Like we talked a little bit about at the end of the last episode, where did you see the Packers finishing in NFC North? None of these really matter. Like seeding might not actually matter so much. It's more of a pride thing. I'd love to win the NFC North and get that first round bye or whatever the case is. But being the 5th and 6th seed and facing the best team in the NFC West and the NFC South is a good problem to have. It's kind of stay loose and play some football and then get ready for the last 2 games before the Super Bowl. It's not the worst.
The top teams in these, like you said, the NFC West, the NFC East. Well, East would be the Eagles, right?
Correct. Nope.
NFC South, NFC West. The top teams in those divisions are not as good as the second and third place teams in the NFC North. So it's
it's so bad. Like the NFC West, you have Seattle at 7-5, but Arizona, LA, They're at 6-6, one game behind, and then San Francisco's at 5. San Francisco's out, but like it's a toss-up whether it's going to be the Rams, Cardinals. And if the Cardinals play the Vikings as well as they did, they should have won that game. That's what I mean. If you, they're just hanging on. Coos ball.
Yeah. Coos ball. Tidbits?
Sure. Let's go. Let's do it.
Well, so I'm just going to run through week 12 real quickly. Ravens Chargers was Monday night. That was a good game. Fun to watch. Ravens came out on top. Eagles Rams on Sunday Night Football. Did you watch any of that game?
That was like a week ago.
Yeah. This is week 12.
No. I didn't have cable.
Saquon Barkley is so much fun to watch.
He's
oh
really
my
good.
God. I mean, he was having a great game to begin with, but then they came out first play of the second half, snaps off a 70-yard touchdown run, and then he did it again later in the second half. Like, Saquon's insane.
Didn't he have 256 rushing yards? Something stupid like that.
I think he had 230 or something like that. 230 total yards or something. Yeah, it was nuts. I don't know. I think Saquon Barkley himself propels that team to an NFC championship.
Bold prediction.
Bold prediction. Is it though? Is it? I mean, the Eagles have looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, I would argue. I mean, the last 2 weeks in particular. I mean, after Detroit gets beat after their loss tonight, because we recorded the game was just a few hours ago. Yeah, Philadelphia would be the number one team in the league, and then I'd put Buffalo honestly behind them, but that'd be my 2 cents.
Yeah. Let's see here. Vikings Bears in week 12. So like I was saying about the Vikings, they squeaked out a win in overtime against the Bears.
That was a wild game. I did catch into that game. You're right. They did squeak out a win. And the Bears just found a way to lose is what it was.
They did. And then
hold on, don't skip over that one real quick. Because that game was super wild. Bears were down 10 with a couple minutes to go in the game. They kick a field goal. They get a touchdown. Then they need the onside kick.
Yeah, they got an onside, didn't they?
Right. They got the onside, which was the first one of the year. It goes off of his leg, and then they managed to tie it, kick the game-tying field goal after getting blocked on the and that was just what a joy it is. Just so many different scripts.
So fun.
Shit. Anyway,
so fun.
Yeah.
Well, and
should have still up that game too.
Comparison, like I made my comparison, Vikings and Chiefs. Chiefs squeaked out a win against the Panthers, winning 30-27.
Yeah.
Same exact score as the Vikings-Bears game.
Yep.
So
that propelled me to take the Panthers in week 13 against the Buccaneers, which almost came to fruition. It went to overtime. The Panthers almost beat the Buccaneers.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, you missed that one, did you? 23-20.
I'm looking at week 12 still. Week 12, the Buccaneers dominated the Giants 30-7. That's what I was thinking of.
Living in the past.
Living in the past. Titans beat the Texans in week 12. Browns beat the Steelers in week 12. Wasn't that the week that we kind of, everything was looking like, we figured it out. It was pretty set in stone. We're like, this team's going to win. This team's going to win. We didn't have a lot of differences in our picks because we were pretty confident. And I said, I feel like this is shaping up for a bunch of upsets.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening. Yeah. Let's see.
Not
week 13. Nostradamus. Is that what you just called me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Predicting the future. Let's see. Week 13, last week, we talked about Lions, Bears, talked about Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers squeak past the Falcons, Vikings squeak past the Cardinals, Seahawks beat the Jets. I mean, do we need to talk about the Jets organization anymore? Well, are they even relevant? Are they even an NFL team anymore?
when it comes to the Jets, they were up, what, 21-7, I think, at one point in that game. And
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
yeah, they had a good shot at winning that game, and I think now they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Here, I'm going to do the play here. So they were up 21-7. They came out of the gate hot. That's in the second quarter to start the second quarter. And then, ended up losing. They didn't score any more points the rest of the game, 21-26. Rodgers could not put a drive together. It sounds
familiar.
You think he's there next year?
No way. No way. He's going to be a Minnesota Viking next year.
Okay, he won't be a Viking, but do you think he plays next year? Or he just hangs it up?
I don't know.
I don't think anybody wants him.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the Jets want him.
No. I don't think anybody wants him. I saw an interesting take that with Darnold being on, a 1-year contract with Minnesota, he actually goes back to New York because they need a quarterback. And he gets his second breath with the Jets. That'd be fun to watch.
Sam Darnold for Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think there's a trade. They just let Rodgers go.
I know. I'm just joking.
But if Darnold goes back to the Jets, he sucks again. I don't think he should do that. Yeah, don't do that.
It has nothing to do with Sam Darnold as a player. It only has to do with how awful that organization is. It just...
Yeah, well, that's my 2 cents on the Jets.
It's where players go to die, go to fizzle out.
With that or Las Vegas or Chicago. Well, maybe Chicago. Detroit's only had one playoff win in 60 years.
That's pretty crazy.
And into last year's playoffs. Isn't that wild? Think about, I don't know how old your dad is, but like, he's got is he probably in his 60s?
My dad's not around. My stepdad is 60 something. Yeah.
Here you go. So throughout his entire lifetime, the Lions have always just been awful, right? Like one playoff win with Barry Sanders back in 91 or whatever it was. And then last year, now look at them. Just bad.
Yeah.
You put yourself in that mind state of what it'd be like to be a Lions fan right now in this day and age.
Yeah, Dan Campbell has really changed that organization as a whole. I like Dan Campbell a lot.
He's played there 3 years, and he was part of that team that was 0-16.
Yeah.
So, I like him. I like him as well. He makes me nervous. He has a way of motivating those guys.
He does. He has a way of getting them going. Did you watch the Monday Night Football game this last week? Broncos, Browns.
I had it on the background last night. Yeah.
It was fun.
Bo Nick's still looking good.
Honestly, Bo Nix looked fine. He still looked good. Broncos ended up winning, but 14 of the Broncos' 41 points were pick sixes. Wow. Really, the star of the game was Jameis Winston for the Browns. He threw for 400-some yards. Jerry Jeudy in a revenge game against his old team had 235 receiving yards and a touchdown. Yeah, it was insane. And, we've talked about I enjoy my sports betting and DraftKings. I ended up winning a good chunk of change from that Monday night game.
Wow. $1, $10, $100,000. Wow. Nice. Well, I'll send you your invoice. Speaking of the Broncos, though, so they are 8-5. Houston's 8-5. Baltimore Ravens are 8-5. And the Commanders are 8-5. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
All those teams are clumped together right there.
Yeah, the Broncos, the Commanders, didn't expect them to be there. Expected them to be below 500. But on the other side of the spectrum, didn't expect the Ravens to be there. Expected them to have a better record than 8-5. I mean, some people did. I didn't, but
Why are the Chargers 8-4?
have they not had a bye yet? I think they're still bye weeks. There's teams on bye this week.
Would they have more games though if they had a bye week? Maybe it's the Texans, Broncos, and Ravens that haven't had a bye week. We're 9-3. That's 12 games. 8-5. That's 13 games. There you go. That's why. But is why.
That.
Yeah, those are late season buys. Yuck.
Yeah, those aren't fun. Week 10 was perfect.
Yeah, good timing. What other tidbits you got there, Sparky? You just rattle through all the games. So you got. That's fine.
Let's see.
Prediction.
We can move on. I mean, the rest of week. I mean, Eagles beating the Ravens. I mean, I picked that one, but it's still a big win for the Eagles. Steelers beating the Bengals 44-38. You know, we talk about the Steelers and how well they've been doing, and we attribute it to their defense, but their offense has looked pretty good too these last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's starting to look a little bit more impressive than he has the past couple of seasons.
They not questioning the switch as much anymore. Remember back when Fields got them to their early hot start, and we were like, why are they making the switch? Well,
but they still use him. Like they put him in there. Fields goes in there for a drive or a couple plays. So they kind of have a two-headed quarterback room back there. I took a couple screenshots of some stuff over the last couple of days. So Thursday night was Matt LaFleur's 65th career regular season win. That moves him past Bill Cowher, Mike Holmgren, and Andy Reid for sole possession of number 2 spot for the most wins by a head coach in his first 6 seasons.
Yeah, it's pretty insane how successful Matt LaFleur has been and how under the radar he's done it.
Well, he took. Speaking of Rodgers, right? So we can see what happens to Rodgers when he doesn't have a structure, an organization, a head coach, a play caller. Like he doesn't do well. Like he had back-to-back MVP seasons under LaFleur, 13-3 seasons, and then what he's done with Jordan Love. So we got ourselves a head coach. That's essentially what I wanted to say. That might be it. A pug won the 2024 National Dog Show for the first time.
Wow. That's all I have to say about that. Do you like that? Do you like pugs? Do you like that type of dog?
I like,
Do you?
I had
the squish face.
I mean, look at this thing.
It's just a black screen, man.
Ross, come on. Johnny on the spot. Well, don't delete the. Oh, boy. Okay. Here we go. Tell me you're old without saying you're 8.
Is that Joe Biden holding the pug?
That's Hunter Biden because he got pardoned and you can do that now. Oh. All right, let's head to week 14 score prediction. You sent me your power rankings. You neglected to send me your score prediction. Did you not do your score predictions yet? Are you flying by just the seat of your pants in your seats? Seat pants?
Yep, fine by the pants in my seat.
Well, as we already discussed, the Packers moved to 10-3 after beating Detroit Lions just a few moments ago. So we'll hit the rest of the week 14 lineup. Jacksonville travels to Tennessee. Tennessee is 4-point favorites. I'll take Tennessee.
I'll take Jacksonville.
Not a fan.
I don't know. I feel it's a toss-up game, honestly. Both teams are pretty bad. I mean, Tennessee just beat Houston a couple weeks ago. But Jacksonville gets sorry. I'm forgetting what happened last week. Trevor Lawrence came back and then was severely concussed. So You know what? I'll take Jacksonville anyway. I really don't know that happens, but I'll take them just because you're taking the Titans.
And that's what I like to hear, because up until the last 2 weeks, we've kind of done our score predictions more so on the fly like this. The
Yeah.
last 2 weeks, you sent yours and I've done mine before recording, or if we didn't record, I just had them. I did them right. And our picks have been nearly identical the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, back in week 11, I had a 4-game lead on you. And now you have a 1-game lead on me. Overall record for score predictions is 106-59. That's you. And I'm 105-60. So I'm going to take my Tennessee victory and tie this thing up. Then we'll head over to the Jets facing the Dolphins at Miami. Both of us are not going to take the Jets. So I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Wait, you're taking the Dolphins?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Hell has frozen over. Miami has frozen over.
Dolphins are a good team. Good team. Kirk Cousins travels back to Minnesota.
Ooh.
Number 1 seed of the NFC South. Atlanta heads to Minnesota. Noon kickoff. Vikings are 5.5-point favorites. Is there any shot at a Vikings loss in this one?
Yes. I think that if this was a primetime game, I think we would see Kirk Cousins choke like he always did in primetime. But I'm going to take the Falcons.
Well,
Revenge
I like that.
game for Kirk.
I'm going to stick with Minnesota and just hope that I'm wrong is really what I'm going for here. That way, if they win, I'll be glad I picked them. If they lose, I'll be glad they lost. So I'm glad you went with that. I'm liking the optimism. Didn't Kirk throw like 4 interceptions last week? Yeah, just an awful game.
I don't know. I honestly, if I see the Falcons on compared to other games, I usually watch other games.
Yeah,
I don't have a whole lot of interest in watching the Falcons, but
the Saints head to New York to face the Giants. Just another garbage game on Sunday. I don't like any of these games. New Orleans actually opens up as 5-point favorites on the road. That one's surprising to me.
Really?
Is Tommy
the Giants?
Is DeVito still the quarterback, or they have
Danny DeVito.
I don't know. Danny DeVito, but I did see that post that you put on social media. No, who
on that?
Drew Lock. Drew Lock's their quarterback.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yep. Drew Lock started last week, and I thought it was because of an injury to DeVito, but is that not the case?
I don't know. I
think it was. I think they said it was due to an injury to DeVito, but then during that game that Drew Lock started, I saw DeVito on the sideline in pads, like with a headset on. So who knows? Who knows what they're going to do at quarterback in New York? I don't think it matters. They're pretty.
Are you taking
toast.
the Saints?
Yeah.
I'll take the Giants. I like the Giants. Danny DeVito. Carolina, the Panthers, the red-hot Carolina Panthers, coming off of 2 very close losses, travel to Philadelphia. Upset.
Well, I think there's.
It's got upset written all over it.
Does it? Does it really?
Yeah.
I think their streak of close losses comes to an end, and they get blown out by the Eagles in Philly. Like, not even a chance. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like, I get trying to get different and pick some upsets, but this is not the place.
I don't know. It might be the place. This is the one that I could really put my stake in the ground and be like, I took the Panthers to beat them.
Well,
the
I tried to help you, but
that's the biggest spread of the weekend right there. That's the biggest blowout prediction of the weekend, which tells me upset alert. I will take the Carolina Panthers in an upset. It's happening. I'm going to watch. That's the game I'm watching at noon on Sunday. You think I'm crazy? I'm calling it right now. Panthers are going to shock the world.
Honestly, it'll probably be pretty fun to watch because Saquon Barkley is so much fun to watch. But
I'll check. All right. Cleveland travels to Pittsburgh. I'm not going to get crazy with this one. I'll take the Steelers.
I'll take the Browns.
The crazy one now. Browns have looked good the last couple of weeks.
I don't know if it's that crazy. They almost beat the Steelers a couple weeks ago. 3 weeks ago or something like that. And then the game against the Broncos on Monday night. They were very close to winning that game. The 2 pick sixes really made a big difference. But
Vegas travels. I'm going to stick with the Steelers. Vegas travels to Tampa. It seems like an obvious one for Tampa to win.
My wife just walked in. She needed me to open her Stanley mug for her because it was
those are
tightened
tough
on.
Those are, I've come across a couple of those now that are tough to open. Thank you very much.
Have you?
Oh, open, but are you taking Tampa Bay over the Raiders?
Yes. Sorry, I wasn't even listening. I didn't even know what matchup we were on. But yes, taking the Bucs. Bucs are obviously better with Mike Evans back. Bucky Irving, their rookie running back, has emerged. I don't know. I can see the Bucs making the playoffs and giving one of these NFC teams a run for their money, at least.
Baker Mayfield back. I'll take Tampa Bay as well. Seattle travels to Arizona for first place in the NFC West.
Gosh. That NFC West is so topsy-turvy. Like I both of these teams, the Seahawks and the Cardinals, have been, it could go either way with them each week. I think I'll take the Seahawks.
All right, I'll stick with my Cardinals. I don't think it's a bad bet on Seattle there, but like you've picked the Dolphins, I'll stick with the Cardinals on this one just because. Buffalo travels to the Los Angeles Rams. Buffalo's 5-point favorites. They got stumble at some point. I don't know if it happens against the Rams, but I think they had a bye week last week. Is that right? No, they destroyed
Buffalo?
the San Francisco 49ers. That's what
they played in that snow game. Did you watch any of that?
I did not watch any of that.
No. That was fun. It was, I bet. I don't know how many feet of snow they got before the game, but the field was covered in snow and guys sliding around all over the place. That's the game that McCaffrey got hurt. He got supposedly a knee injury, PCL, I think PCL sprain or something like that. But that didn't matter. The Bills were going to win that game. This matchup against the Rams in LA. Who are you taking? You said they got to stumble at some point, but you don't think it's against the Rams. Does that mean you're taking Buffalo?
No. Who does Buffalo have remaining on their schedule? Rams, Lions, Patriots, Jets, Patriots. So they essentially have 2 games left this year. Patriots, Jets, Patriots to close up the season. So they're right now, they're 10-2. So the question is, do they finish 13-4 or 14-3? Or do they run the table? I don't see them
or 15-2.
I don't see them at 15-2. I think they dropped games.
I don't
Baltimore.
know. I guess if I was going to see a stumble game from the Bills, it might be this week against the Rams, but I'm still going to take the Bills. I think the Bills win out. Bold prediction. Bills win out the rest of the season, go 15-2.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Rams. I think they lose to the Rams in a close game, and then they take all of their anger and frustration out on Detroit next week and just absolutely destroy the Lions. So that'll be, I'll take the Rams in that one. Bears travel to San Francisco. Not the same 49ers. Not the same Bears. Yeah, new head coach.
Yeah, I think this has the makings of a Bears win, honestly. Because
I was going to take the Niners.
You were going to take the Niners?
Maybe.
I don't think that's a bad pick. I mean, I probably would. I don't know. Well, points
I can
for
tell
me
you're
in
always
this one.
50-50 when I give you my answer and you go, yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick. But when I pick the Panthers, you're like, you don't have to do it, bro. I'm doing it. Staking that.
That's because it is a bad pick.
No.
Like-
It's a good pick. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay. But anyway, the 49ers injuries, I mean, McCaffrey got injured. He's probably done for the season. But then an even bigger point, their backup, who had been playing most of the season, Jordan Mason, he's injured as well and looks like he's going to IR as well. So they're going to be starting a rookie running back. They're hurting at the receiver position. I don't know. It just, with their injuries and then the whole narrative of the Bears get an interim head coach and he's going to turn things around because they've had close losses where Eberflus fucked up. So, curse
You're really
word, sorry.
justifying. You're really justifying this Bears pick. Are you gonna lock it in?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bears.
Okay.
I feel like it
All right.
just is set up to be a win for the Bears, and then they come back the following week and lose, and then lose the rest of the season probably.
Here's why I like San Francisco, because they, surprisingly, with how terrible they've played, or their record is, they are still only 2 games out of winning the division. 2 games back. So
That NFC West, man, like I said, it's
garbage.
topsy-turvy.
Yep. So here they are. They're at home. They're against the Bears. Got to win. There's no other option. Got to give it all. So that's why I think the Niners will take their business. And then Sunday night, pretty good game. Herbert and the Chargers travel to Kansas City. Face off against Mahomes and the Chiefs. Will it be a close squeak victory for the Kansas City Chiefs, or
Probably.
yeah? I'll take Los Angeles.
Okay. I don't want to, but I'll take the Chiefs. I just so this matchup has become a little bit of a rivalry. The Chargers and the Chiefs.
I don't want to pick the
Mahomes,
11
Herbert.
team defend Super
I
Bowl.
don't. I really don't, because I think it's going to implode. I think at some point they're going to lose and keep losing because of the way they've been winning. But I just feel like it's at home for the Chiefs. The Chargers or Justin Herbert I don't know. They just he can't seem to beat Mahomes. I feel like it's just set up for the Chiefs to squeak out another win.
Well, and then to close out the Week 14, the Cincinnati Bengals, who have lost 3 straight games, travel to Dallas, Jerry's World, face off against the Cowboys. Go Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals in this one.
Did the Cowboys won
They beat
in
the
week
Giants.
12, right? Yeah, they beat the Giants, and then that was week 13. Did they win in week 12? Yeah, they're on a 2-game winning streak. Again, I don't want to do this because I would much rather Joe Burrow and the Bengals win, but in Dallas is on a 2-game winning streak. The Bengals, regardless of how well Joe Burrow plays, the Bengals can't win a game. I'll take the Cowboys.
All right. God, really, it's good. Some good picks this week. They're not all the same.
I feel gross about it, honestly.
Well, at least you got the good old-fashioned Eagles to fall back on.
Good old-fashioned.
I remember the name of the team that the Panthers were playing. All right. Last but not least, our rankings. Then we'll wrap this dog and pony show up. Not a lot of changes across the board. Hold up here on the overlay as I always do. 2 things stand out to me. You and I both took the Packers and moved them up to the 4th best team on the power rankings. At what point did you make that decision? that you were doing that? Was it just
At
today?
about 5 o'clock today.
I was thinking about it. Honestly, I was thinking about it as early as last Friday. After that Miami game, I'm like, okay, I know I got to move them up. How high am I going to take them? It wasn't until, when Kansas City barely squeaked that one by, I'm like, okay, they're above the Chiefs. The only other team I would have had above them was the Ravens. But again, even though they lost to a very good Eagles team, they can't get out of their own way. They look really bad at times. But other than that, the surprise is you dropped Kansas City all the way from 4 down to 8.
I mean, I've talked about it enough tonight.
11-1.
Yep.
Yeah, the Vikings better than them.
Yep. The
Wow.
two teams that keep squeaking out wins, one of them's got to squeak out the other one.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The one team that's squeaking out wins is Patrick Mahomes and the Super Bowl defending, and they didn't look good all last year and still won a Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs. This is the team that finds ways to win because they are a championship-bred powerhouse, right? They find ways to win with, I'll take the Vikings roster over the Chiefs. Like, if you were to add up all the talent on a scale, even with Patrick Mahomes putting the Chiefs up a bunch and then Travis Kelce putting them up a bunch, you stack up all the little Vikings players, I would say the Vikings have more talent. But I would not take them over the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that's absolutely wild. You just really, are you pissed off at them? You're just pissed off at them, I think, at the end of the day.
I'm pissed off at how they are where they're at. Just each week. Yeah. Like against the Raiders. They should have lost against the Raiders, but some freak play happened and Chiefs, that win was not because of anything the Chiefs did, right? Had nothing to do with the Chiefs defense. I mean, I guess the only thing that they did was recover the fumble, but it was all on the Raiders, and they would have lost the game if that hadn't happened. Just week in and week out, it seems like situations like that are happening for the Chiefs, and I don't think that can. I don't think he can sustain that.
No other real surprises. We both dropped the Ravens a few spots in our respective categories. You moved up the Steelers a couple spots, and really, I mean, my biggest change was Packers moved up and kind of just shifted everyone down. My biggest drop was the Ravens. The biggest drop was the Chiefs.
I did, we're talking about I dropped Kansas City below Minnesota. I did have a hard time figuring out where I wanted Minnesota to be. I did have Minnesota, I think, below Kansas City at one point, but I don't know. Just,
here you go, backtracking. All right, quit defending your decisions.
I mean, it's 7 and 8. They're really interchangeable spots in the power rankings, aren't they?
So Vikings would beat the Chiefs if they played? That's who you'd take?
Yes. And then the next time they played, the Chiefs would win. And the next time they played, the Vikings would win. And then the next time they played, the Chiefs would win. Like it's a coin flip game, honestly, between the two of them.
Well, any parting topics, thoughts? We're only at 55 minutes.
Wow.
Got anything
impressive?
Anything saucy?
Anything saucy?
6 p.m.
So you know what I'm super excited about? Packers are playing on Thursday Night Football. Have you watched Thursday Night Football on Prime with the, what do they call it? I wrote it down. Where is it? Prime Vision.
No. What's that?
So I don't know if they've had it all season or if they just debuted it a couple weeks ago, but it was, so not Thanksgiving, because there wasn't an Amazon Prime game on Thanksgiving. It was all network television. But the week before,
Browns
it was
Steelers.
on Prime.
Oh, wait.
Yep, Browns Steelers. And it ended up being a snow game. So they kind of partway through the game, they had to stop this Prime Vision broadcast. But if you go to your Amazon Prime, there's 3 different options for the game. There's the regular broadcast, there's the Spanish, and then there's a third. It's called like Prime Vision with next gen stats or something like that. Watch the Packer game on that broadcast. So the camera angle is behind the offense, and then they put tags above each offensive player. It looks like freaking Madden. Yeah. It was awesome. It was so cool to watch. And then they got like when the receivers run their routes, they got the lines following them and stuff like that. But then that Steelers-Browns game, because it got snowy, I think they couldn't continue it. So eventually it just went back to the normal camera angle. But that Prime Vision view, it's still the same commentators. You still hear the same broadcast as you would if you're watching at the normal camera angle, but it's at that behind the offense angle, and it's got the tags on each player. It was super fun. So I'm excited for the Packer game to be able to watch that.
They do that live?
Yeah. Check it out. It's fun.
I'm watching a clip of it right now. I'll probably do that. I'll probably have it like, probably have Prime Vision like on my iPad, and then the actual broadcast on my feed.
That's a good way to do it. I could do it that way. Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about this Packers game.
I thought you were gonna say like, they had make the Apple Vision Pro. I thought you were gonna be like VR, like.
Well, that's the future, right?
Sit outside.
That's the future of watching sports, isn't it? They do it for like NBA games, I think.
They do. Courtside.
Right, yeah. You just put your VR goggles on and you're sitting courtside. I mean, eventually that's what it'll be for football games.
Yeah, I just want to be on the field during it all.
Yeah.
And then put on a bodysuit, so if I get hit, I can feel it.
4D.
Or it's tied to like the player that it's on. So if they get tackled, you feel it. Man.
Are you sure you want to feel that?
It's like I'm feeling the Panthers up for the Eagles on Sunday.
250-pound man crushing you.
Yeah.
Speaking of
that, 250-pound men.
Yeah. So the Thanksgiving Packers game, players of the game were Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah McDuffie. I know. That chokes me up too. He had a hell of a game.
It does. He had a hell of a game. But what I wanted to bring up was, so that post-game interview with the turkey legs and all that stuff. So McDuffie was there, and he said, what you'd expect a linebacker to say, like, oh, it's all about the team. I love these guys, blah, blah, blah. But did you see that he is a Hulk of a man? His biceps are bigger than my head. Like, he was huge. Especially, even compared to Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs standing next to him. Like,
that surprised you.
He wasn't that tall. He wasn't taller than them, but his arms were this freaking big. They were this big.
Isaiah McDuffie, linebacker, 6'1", 227 pounds, only 25 years old, and he came from Boston College. Remember where he played with
Jeff Hafley.
Yep.
Yeah. No, he's looked real good this season. Especially in that last game, he looked real good.
He forced fumbles, a lot of tackles. Yeah, it was the best game of the season. Ah, shit. All right, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think that's all I got. Anything else? You got anything?
I don't think I have anything. I've probably got a whole bunch of stuff, but throughout the entire.
I was going to say, anything outside of football?
You started Christmas shopping yet?
Yes and no.
You've
I mean, our kids are pretty much covered, but that's mainly because my wife did a bunch of Black Friday and Cyber Monday shopping. I have not really bought any gifts mainly I just got to buy gifts for my wife, but
Yeah.
I haven't started that yet.
I haven't started either. I haven't started anything yet. Zero.
It's early. It's December 5th
Third.
at this point.
5th. You're right. It's the 5th. The Packers are 10-3,
Mm-hmm.
41-24.
Well, and I had that big DraftKings win on Monday night, so nice to get that right before Christmas. Not too concerned about buying Christmas gifts at this point.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Doge sitting out there that I'm just gonna let it ride though. I don't really want to touch
There
it.
you go.
About
You don't
$2,500.
want to convert it into Shiba Inu, because that's where it's at.
No, Doge is gonna hit $1 at some point, and that $2,500 is gonna turn into about 15,000. So we're holding. That's pretty much my life outside of football. Dogecoin, video games, work,
Video games. What video games are you into?
Rocket League, a lot of Rocket League.
Yeah, really. That's still popular, huh?
Oh yeah, it's definitely popular.
Wow,
So I play
that's
Rocket League.
impressive. That's impressive, honestly, for a video game to have popularity that long.
Have you ever heard of the game Alan Wake?
Nope.
All right.
I don't even own a gaming system, man.
I don't even have a gun, let alone enough guns to necessitate a gun rack. Movie
Well,
that's
I got
from
guns. I don't know what movies that's from, but I have guns.
Wayne's World.
Really?
His crazy girlfriend
interesting.
or ex-girlfriend buys him a gun rack, and he's like, "What do I need a gun for? I don't even own a gun."
I was about to say, I don't even remember that scene, but then that last line that you just threw out, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I remember that.
To necessitate a rack. Are you crazy? Are you loco?
Classic.
No, I should probably get some sleep though, because I gotta work. We talked. I'm probably gonna edit out all of our personal conversation. I can keep it in there.
I mean, does it matter?
What does that mean?
I mean, we're at over an hour now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could put anything on the internet right now. What do you? I mean, yeah. What do you want to get into?
Free speech, baby. Free speech.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What do we got to do? What do we got to do to get more viewers on our YouTube channel? Pretty consistently, it's been about 150 on our main episode and about 40 something on our overtime.
What if it's just
If
us?
anyone's still, maybe only 40 people like us.
It could just be us. You never know. Like, there's so many
You know what
factors that
happened?
could.
I did. So last week when we weren't able to record because of the Foot Clan, and we put out that clip of, me filming myself. I did have actually a few people, just like people I personally know, saw my video and they were like, oh, hey, I didn't realize you were doing this. That's awesome. So maybe we start getting a little bit more traction with,
Well, we got
more
zero
people
new subscribers in the last
well,
week.
but there was no new video.
Tell them to
I didn't
subscribe.
link,
Subscribe.
I didn't link a video to that clip or anything like that. So this week we'll have videos to put out and links to click and buttons to subscribe. Punch it.
Yeah, it's something to figure out. I don't know whether maybe it's the format of how we do our weekly content, like as far as like recap and preview. Maybe it's too scripted still, or there's too many stats. Maybe we're just not. We tend to get a little bit more fun in overtime, at least like the first 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and
we
get
do.
tired
it's like 11 o'clock at night and we're like, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
So maybe it needs to just be like more football talk, just
more relaxed in the Packers episode. I don't know. What about guests? I've had a lot of people say, "Hey, you gotta have a guest on there to mix things up." I mean, we've got this.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be anybody. It could be family members to start with. It could be Vikings fans, Bears fans, Lions fans. I don't know many of them. Do you still talk to Bill Anilot at all?
Oh God,
he's the only Lions fan I know.
Yeah. No, I don't talk to him very much. I was thinking that it wasn't my idea; it was my brother's idea, where you would get a picture of anyone, right? You Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. You do Eberflus, and then you just make the mouth move like they do in some of those skits. And those could be our interviews. And then in the
okay,
and then in the headline, it'd be featuring Eberflus, and then it could be Brad Childress at this point, right?
We have not seen Brad Childress in weeks. I miss that guy. I'm lying. No, I don't. I don't miss him. Don't pull it up. I don't want to see Brad Childress.
We're gonna try it.
I don't want to see Brad Childress. But yes, I like that idea. That could be fun. And that would be, that would be us impersonating whoever we're having on as a guest, which that could get fun too. Get real goofy with it.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to edit the mouth to move.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But then he pops up and you're like, and we're sitting here with Brad Childress. Brad, what do you think of the Vikings' hot start? And then his little lips would move. When I was coaching the Vikings, you'd have to come up with some dialogue.
Do you think that's his voice? Do you think he smokes?
No, he never touched a cigarette in his life, but he just grew up in a...
He's touched little boys, though.
Well, he's never coming on the show. We can rule out Brad Childress. Thank you. So, yeah, I think so. Oh, there's a lot though. There's way more of these Packers podcasts than I remember 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
They're all copycats. They all just want to be as cool as us.
Maybe. But we're so buried in just, I think we just got to keep on keeping what we're doing.
Keep on keeping on.
Do you get any traction from sharing this stuff in all the groups? Like, do people like it or comment or anything?
Yeah,
I'm not part of any of those groups. Like, you join 20 of them. And so I don't actually see if there's any interactions with it.
Yeah, I get comments, I get likes, not like a huge amount, but I get some. And then the views go way up. Like if I just share it to our page and don't share it to any of the groups, we get maybe 100 some views on the post itself. If I post it to the groups, it goes up to 1,500, 2,000 views, or it goes across that many people's feed, at least.
We could probably shorten the main episodes. Like, we've gotten this rhythm where they're 35 to 40 minutes long. You could, I was thinking tonight, even if we just kind of opened as just the state of, how are we feeling about the Packers, and then go into our final thoughts and make it, we could probably get that down to 20 minutes.
Yeah. I think this week, with us not having talked in 2 weeks, kind of made that a little bit longer, but I agree. It could be we've gotten it down to a pretty good science where it could be quick.
See, these are things that but yeah, our engagement goes down after 7 minutes or so, right?
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and if you think about it as a viewer, so if you click on a 30-minute video and you get 7 minutes in and there's 20 some minutes left, like, I'm not going to finish this video. But if it's a 15-minute video and you're 7 minutes in, you're more likely to finish it, right?
Right. Yep.
And yeah, I agree. The overtime, we're much more loose. It's much more just like bullshitting, talking, joking, which is what we want, but it doesn't get the viewership that we want.
I think what would ultimately help, though, like, is if we did, like, instant reaction recaps after the games, like a 5-10 minute video after. I think that's really what it is. And then that takes away the time from the normal episode. And then I've discussed it, but if we can break down, or it's even how we film it, probably just have a power rankings episode, just have a schedule predictions episode, and then maybe you post it all as one long 2-hour video or whatever you want to do. But I think there's just a structure aspect of it too, where that would help. But
yeah,
I don't know. That's what the TikToks are, is to help try and break that stuff up. But
right. Yeah, I really do think the TikToks help. Weeks that we have TikToks out with clips of our full episode, we get more views on the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it doesn't help either when this gets edited on Wednesday night and the Packers play on Thursday.
Well, yeah, this week's a little bit of an anomaly. And last week, right?
Right. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. What do you think we'll do in the offseason? Like once a month check-ins?
Yeah, it's in the first part of the offseason, there's not going to be any Packers stuff to talk about. I mean, not going to be a whole lot of football stuff to talk about. But
yeah, you get to start of the new season. You got the draft, obviously. Isn't there there's
draft is in Green Bay this year?
Yeah, I'm aware.
I want to go. I really want to go.
I go back and forth on
whether I want to go.
I was like a lot of people. If we win the Super Bowl, I'm going.
What does that matter?
Oh, because it's going to be a party for sure. Super Bowl champs are in town, are hosting the draft.
Bro, it's Green Bay. It's going to be a party whether they don't make the playoffs or win the Super Bowl. It'll be a party.
You want to be walking around with a bunch of Chiefs fans in their new Super Bowl apparel? Or do you want... That wouldn't be fun.
Chiefs aren't winning the Super Bowl again this year. Calling it right now. They're not winning.
You have Bills and Eagles right now?
Yeah, that'd probably be those are probably my two top teams right now. With the injuries to the Lions, those are my two best teams from each conference.
The Packers can really, if they continue this run-stopping defense, it gives us a shot against the Eagles if you have to face them. It'll be interesting to see what they can do on Thursday night.
Well, and we played the Eagles once already, and it was a close game. And it wasn't like
week one.
Yeah. But I mean, we were seeing things from the Eagles that week that we've been seeing recently too. I mean, it's not like Saquon Barkley kind of took some time to get going. Like, he was hot right from week one against the Packers, and Packers hung in there with them. Yeah, I mean, I say that the Eagles and the Bills are, in my opinion, the two top teams right now. Top two Super Bowl contenders right now. But anything can happen. I mean, even if, say the Packers-Eagles match up in an NFC championship, Packers have things bounce their way. I mean, it's the NFL. Anything can happen.
You're right. I'll take the Packers. If they win on Thursday, I'm all in. We're going, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Now that's bold.
We need more bold.
It's almost like It's almost like we're on a Packers podcast.
No,
or
it's
something
almost like
that.
taking the Panthers over the Eagles. The Eagles are going to drop to 10-3. Packers will be 10-3. Lions will be 11-2. Power rankings are going to get wild next week. Let's put it that
You
way.
think so?
Yep. All right. I do have.
Yeah, it's late. Well,
You want to send us off?
man, you throw this at me, and I'm just not prepared.
All right. All you need is a finger point.
All I need is a finger point. Hey, thanks for checking out Overtime. We'll be back again next week for the Packers Week 15 matchup. In the meantime,
Against
the Seahawks.
on Sunday Night Football. Let's go.
SNF, baby. In the meantime, we will see you on the internet. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, though. All right.
Stop.
Coos ball.